Hey,
Yes.
welcome out to channel14.com's Bodega Nights. I'm Jao, and that over there is Martin, and it's been a while since I've said that.
Yeah, it's been a while because we've been going to the Cast Garden each and every weekend. But since we have a open night tonight and no one seemed to take it, we're going back to the bodega. Hey guys!
Yeah.
Ha!
It's been actually we have like quite a number of Cast Garden episodes just sort of ready to go. So like I hope we can do this a little bit more often since, like not being as constrained by the format of a show talking about the life of a particular person in that small university in Ortigas, but
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I'm very happy, Jao. Like, hey, it's been a while. We wish we had our two friends here, Norm and Miko, but they have personal, how do you call this? That
what,
word? Commitments
engagements,
already. Like,
commitments. All right,
engagements. Yeah, because I was like, calling last minute, oh, the guest is gone. Hey, Miko, are you free? Oh, I have a stream in RE5, like in a couple of hours. So yeah, after this recording, I'll be dropping by his Twitch. And Norm is also busy with life and adulting. So shout outs to our friends. We hope we can catch up with each other in the next few weeks when all our schedules are free. But hopefully all my schedule is free this month. I'm really praying because it's been a hectic June. Obviously, no thanks to June being our Kalayaan celebrations every June 12th. It's not as pressure, it's not as stressful as the before time. So I'm still lucky on that end. But at the same time, it feels like, it kind of overlaps with our schedule of recording, which is usually on a weekend night. Because here it would be a weekend morning, and that's where our events are for my job, which I cannot disclose. But it involves nothing about sports. Trust me.
That's the transition for speaking about sports. Have you been watching the NBA playoffs?
Hell yeah. And I'm very happy for the point guard finally making it to the NBA Finals. I mean, this guy called Chris Paul, he's been in the NBA since 2005, 2006. He's been on losing teams. He's been on teams that were on the brink to greatness. And now he's finally on a team that actually made it to the finals. Like, if you talked about his team, where he is right now, the Phoenix Suns, you check their records last year or 2 years prior, their records sucked balls, man. But when you...
I was just going to say...
Oh, my God, this is the... Damn it, cheese! Damn it, cheese! But you know what I mean, right, Jao? Like, this guy, Chris Paul, goes into any team at all. You check their stats, you check their standings, it improves. Like, these guys couldn't even make it to the playoffs. Now they made it to the finals thanks to the point guard.
Man, the last time that the Phoenix Suns, I think, were like noteworthy was when Charles Barkley was with them.
Yeah, no, not really. When Steve Nash was on, like 15 years ago.
Yeah, there was
back-to-back MVPs in 2005 and 2006. But each and every time they were in the playoffs, when they kick Kobe Bryant's ass and the Lakers, they get their asses handed to them by the San Antonio Spurs, who almost always eliminate them anyway.
Yeah.
So like from the span of 2005 to the span of the 2009 or 2008, it's always been the Spurs that would kick their asses off the playoffs. And it was a very huge fall from grace for the Phoenix Suns post Steve Nash. And so it's been a decade in the making. And for Chris Paul, it's been 16 years in the making. And the last time, as you mentioned, Charles Barkley's Suns, right?
Yeah.
The last time the Phoenix Suns were in the playoffs were in the 1992-1993 season, where they faced Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
Yeah, that was that was quite a time in basketball.
Yeah, I was like, I like Michael Jordan. Why are you giving me this Air Max? And then my dad's like, this is the shoes of Charles Barkley. Who the hell is Charles Barkley? You know, that guy who faced him in the Phoenix Suns. The hell's the Phoenix Suns? I only know Chicago Bulls. And then the year or two after, oh, that guy. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. He's a bad guy. He says a lot of bad things in the press.
But man, I really that was the time that I watched like the most basketball. I think like that sort of late '90s kind of yeah. It's really weird. I mean, it's like
I became a fan of Charles Barkley thanks to Space Jam and him in the Houston Rockets.
yeah, but like for me, right? It's so weird that like as a Filipino, the last time that I actually watched any basketball, like besides the playoffs and the finals, was back when it was still like the Bulls that were dominant. And that just seems like a very sort of un-Filipino thing to do because we're just obsessed about basketball in this country.
I don't know. It seems similar to me when people want to watch Pacquiao bouts on a Sunday afternoon or morning. I'd rather say, hey, want to join us and your grandpa watch the Pacquiao fight at his house? I'm like, nah, I catch up on sleep, or nah, I just catch up on my schoolwork. Because I don't know, it's not my thing. And am I un-Filipino for not supporting Manny? Okay.
that takes a completely new meaning these days.
For the woke folks, I haven't been watching a Pacquiao fight even before you made it cool, people. Get over it.
There was a time when the woke people would actively like not watch a Pacquiao fight. Right?
Yeah, it was just recent because of his quote-unquote anti-LGBT beliefs and being close-minded Christian or religious zealot.
I mean, like back in the even back in the day, right? All of the cool kids were like, "No, man, we're not going to watch the Pacquiao fight." This is at least I don't know. I felt kind of woke back then when I was talking about misplaced nationalism and whatnot.
Maybe just a handful of them, but it's not the pandemic wokeness that we're getting on the social media.
Oh yeah, that's a completely different thing.
I don't watch it because it's cool now not to watch him, even though I was watching him Pacquiao versus Morales or Pacquiao versus Marquez or Pacquiao versus Big Money Floyd Mayweather. Ironically, I was watching Mayweather at my house, streaming it because I was busy doing work and I had to pass time and get the edge off. That's the only Pacquiao fight I actively watched because I was very stressed at work.
And that was one of the most boring Pacquiao fights. That Pacquiao Mayweather fight was terrible.
It was fine with me because I'm like, I don't want to register these people for a very famous regional forum that's happening this year. So F that. I'm going to watch Pacquiao Mayweather because it should be a holiday, and B, it's a replay, so there's no more like commercials here. Screw it. I'll watch now. Like every other round. Okay, doing my work. I think the only time I watched a real Pacquiao fight, I wasn't even in the Philippines anymore.
Really? Like
it was 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago, somewhere in Virginia. It was his 2011 fight. I forgot who it was, but I know it was it's a Pacquiao 2011 fight. I know it was 10 years ago. Oh, Shane Mosley. It was Mosley.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
Yeah.
Guy is old, dude.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, wait. No. Hold on. Pacquiao. No, I'm sorry. It was Pacquiao Marquez, the third portion. Yeah.
Pacquiao Marquez the third. That sounds like a name.
Yeah, it was like, I think it had a controversial fight or whatever, but I didn't care. I was just there. They were mostly watching the fight. I was eating some chicken. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. His fight sort of lost the luster for me after the first couple. I was like, okay, this guy should, at the point where it's like, oh man, this guy should probably retire already. So I don't know.
But for me, what he mentioned last time, because I think he did a dig at Logan Paul or Floyd for getting a money match with Logan Paul, and he actually is planning to face a legit boxer soon, right?
I don't know. I am not following the news.
I'm like, you're it's like, dude, you are a elected senator and you want to get your ass beat in the ring.
Yeah, dude,
I don't understand that.
That's
I do
the
not
thing.
understand that. And you're doing this for the love of the sport, not for money. And I'm like, first of all, is there a loophole I don't see here, Zhao, that he's allowed to get boxing money and government money? I don't know. Maybe there is, but I don't know if that's really legal. I hope it is, because he's a good boxer. But like, dude, you have your constituents. Do you want to think about your constituents? What if you die due to something in the ring? There's always that factor. People don't think people will Dude, we watch Rocky, right? If he dies, he dies. That's a legit thing.
As far as I'm concerned, that guy probably shouldn't be a senator. But then that's not, But
then again, we have a former basketball player. We have a former noontime show host, and also current, and a former comedian, and a former action star, and a former children of a despot. Pretty sure boxers not out of our wheelhouse.
This is if I were to like reformulate our system of government, I would put it right into the Constitution that one of the prerequisites for you to be able to run for senator is have a Bachelor of Laws degree or have a Juris Doctor. I would like to contest that, because it is for the people and by the people. Everyone is free to run. Now, doesn't that strike as elitism and not open for the people of the country? As much as effed up this is right now, the current makeup, this is the system that makes anything possible. That a former bus driver can be a president. Let's not get into that country. There's what's it?
Let's not get
what's it? Like to my mind, the legislative branch of government, right? The House of Representatives should be as open as possible. That is to say, your House of Representatives should represent the character of the population of the Philippines. Right? Like this is where everybody is represented. This is where you can have your former actors, where you can have your former boxers. This is where you can have the dude down the road and have that person take an active role in
Congress.
Yeah, in Congress, in the House of Representatives. But when it comes to like the Senate, acting as a check against that, you would like the Senate to be somewhat more discerning when it comes to the how do you put this, the legality, the actual legislation.
Okay, I like the thought, but here's my concern. If you put that in the Senate, who's going to say and stop you and say, why not the Congress? And when you put that in the Congress, who's that to stop and say, how about the LGUs? Because it's going to perform a domino effect if that does pass. And that is a concern, because it comes back to the thing that we're trying to stop, basically not opening the House of Representatives to all the representatives in the country. And don't you think it will cause a bigger class problem?
Well, chairman of the COMELEC has a very specific set of qualifications that they have to have. Chairman of all of the different chair people from the other constitutional commissions have that, and that domino effect hasn't happened. When it comes to the House of
Representatives, is there, Zhao, do we elect those COMELEC people?
No, we don't.
Now we have to ask, why are we not electing them? Is it because of that requirement?
What? No.
Is it because of that said requirement?
No, the reason that those requirements are there is so that they can do a good job.
Yeah. And they're not chosen by the people. There's a reason why. I believe, but I could be wrong. There's a reason why we don't choose them, and they have those requirements. But we only have the most minimum of requirements for the senator and the congressman, same as the mayor. But that's just me. I think, that'll be nice, but I'm pretty okay with how we get our senators right now. I hope it's not wrong. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. This is just me, right? I see no real difference I see no real difference between the Senate and the House of Representatives, in that like the only real difference is one of them is a local constituency and the other one is for the whole country. But I mean, is that really a distinction that needs to be made? That's,
it's weird because in my field, like, we fear the congressmen more than the senators, and it's because of the money they wield.
Yeah, so I don't know. To my mind, the senators should be held to a higher standard than the House of Representatives. This is a lot closer to the ideas of Montesquieu.
Montesquieu?
No, separation of powers.
Getz. That's true.
Right, that's a lot closer to his original idea, because, I mean, admittedly, his original idea was a little bit elitist and misguided, but the idea was sort of House of Commons, House of Lords kind of thing. And
okay, understood now. I think that's where you're coming from. The House of Commons, House of Lords thing. Okay, gets.
Yeah, but instead of the House of Lords being something that is, this title that is granted upon you because you were the son of some earl of whatever, the way you get into the House of Lords is by being qualified as a lawyer, because that's kind of what they do.
But, wait, question. If the qualification is a lawyer or those with a law degree, shouldn't that be on the judiciary, which they do have something?
They do have that qualification. Yeah.
And isn't that why there's the check and balance there? Granted, the current situation, it seems like that branch is also being,
I mean, to my mind, yeah. Well, to my mind, kind of.
So what makes it different now with the judiciary if the Senate's going to have that problem as well?
Or instead of being a lawyer, how about like the minimum requirement is a college degree?
I think that's good. College degree. Right,
like the Senate should
civil service qualifying exam. That's the easiest.
Yeah. Right, like the Senate should be held to a higher standard than the House of Representatives. But the House of Representatives,
ironic.
Huh?
Think about this, because the House of Representatives right now, in my opinion, can have the Senate by the balls, regardless of who's there.
Like to my mind, the House of Representatives should be the cesspool that is the population of the Philippines, because that is what it is. It's the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just my thought on it, which is
I like that idea.
Right? Just at least there is something that the senators have to show for being a senator, other than the genuine desire to serve. Because let's admit it, the process of legislation is a little bit more technical than me having this desire to serve the Filipino people, right?
Yes, you have to have the know-how. And I think this is why they have staff members that should be good at their jobs. And reminds me of an incident 8 years ago when someone used a speech and it was copied.
Yeah, I remember that. That was
plagiarized.
It was terrible.
Seeing it now in my lens, I'm like, I wouldn't mind if the same guy who wrote that script for him got fired, because it's his job to make sure what you wrote for your boss, something that shouldn't be that.
Yeah, with that idea of command responsibility, it should have been the person that was delivering the speech. Well. It should have been the boss that looked at that speech and was like, "Hey,
double check.
That's like
this
not
sounds familiar." Yeah,
right. I don't know. I know.
But speaking of that boss, and speaking of the senator who's gonna fight and being un-Filipino on watching sports, man. Yeah, dude, you mentioned it was 93. So it's been 28 years since the Phoenix Suns have been in the finals. And now, thanks to Chris Paul, the guy who has never been in the finals. But Jao, guess who he's facing?
The Milwaukee Bucks, right?
Yeah, with the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I can't say it. Let me just say Giannis. So it's interesting, but I don't know when this episode is going to be out. Suns in 4. Just kidding. Suns in 6.
Wait, let me just look at the schedule of the playoffs.
I think it starts on Tuesday, right?
Yeah, game 1 is on the 7th. Game 2 is on the 9th. Yeah. 3 is on Monday, June 12th. Oh, yeah, they should be out by then.
Be out by then. And I might be wrong if I say Suns in 6, but Suns in 6.
All right. You heard it here first. That's Martin's fearless prediction. Suns in 6.
Yeah, ignore the first few minutes before my predictions about the government, because what counts here is the sports talk with Martin. Sports
talk with Martin.
Sports. I don't know if you put that song insert there, John, but it's been fun trolling some friends.
All right. But yeah, like I don't know, man. It was in the early mid 90s that I last really watched basketball. And funnily enough, my support of the Golden State Warriors and the Los Angeles Lakers is informed by my having watched basketball that early on, because as a Chicago Bulls fan, I was not a fan of Jordan, Pippen, or Rodman. I was a fan of Steve frickin' Kerr.
Oh, nice. Steve Kerr won a lot of titles after he left the Bulls, by the way.
Yeah. Right, so
Spurs and Warriors, yeah.
Right, so it's like if there's anything in basketball recently, it is the Steve Kerr type stuff that I've been following, which is kind of weird. And it was there was that run that the Golden State Warriors had with Steph Curry that everybody seemed to be like, you're too mainstream if you like Golden State, right? And I was like, no, I'm like the opposite of that, because the reason I like Golden State is because of Steve Kerr, not Steph Curry.
Wow. Yeah, Steve Kerr. Oh, speaking of Kerr and Steph Curry, I am so amazed how this YouTube show called Secret Base, who was formerly what? I forgot. The one that does Rewind, the one that does a lot of NBA stuff.
Yeah.
They made a series about the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers winning the title. So they did a deep rewind. Part 1 was about the Stepien era. Part 2 was about the Gund era, like years before the LeBron trade, the time they drafted LeBron James, and how he connected Stephen Curry to his dad, Del Curry, who played one season with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and said, so what's the connection with Stephen Curry? Well, let's take a rewind first. His dad was here, and then he had to move to this place in Charlotte because they weren't protected by the expansion draft. And now, fast forward to 2016, guess who's being guarded by the Cleveland Cavaliers? It's weird how he made that deep connection with everyone on the floor. Yeah. He has yet to tell me the deep connection with Kevin Love, except the trade. I don't know. That was funny. And that's a very interesting sports video if you like sports history, Joe. Go to youtube.com, Secret Base.
Secret Base? I'll link that in the... should I?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Bodega Nights doesn't seem like the type of podcast that has show notes.
Yeah, me neither. So
but,
we're talking about sports. I don't play sports anymore, man. I just watch sports. The NBA and it's basketball, you slam dunk that touchdown, baby.
Start feeling
3-point hole in one.
The last time that I actually played a lot of sports was when I was really into futsal. Wait, I'm going to have to get a new pair of headphones because these just died. So hold up.
All right. So while Zhao is gone, may I remind you guys that you're listening to channel14.com. We have other shows aside from Bodega Nights, like we mentioned, the Cast Garden. We have Third World Gaming, featuring myself. And we also have some old shows like Third World Linux featuring Zhao Neji. We got Jobber Talk featuring me. And we also have my favorite and yours, Radio Norm. 6 seasons of spoken word tour, please. And now I see that Zhao is back. I think it's time for us to go back here and listen to some Bodega Nights. Hey, Zhao, welcome back. Can you hear me? Maybe not. All right.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right.
Oh, my God. Nice. Nice. I'm glad you can hear me. I did a spiel on, talking about our shows here on channel14.com, if that's your thing.
All right. Channel14.com. And it's what are our active shows right now? We have this, we have the Cast Garden, we have Third World Gaming, right?
Third World Gaming. Yeah. Yes.
How's Third World Gaming been? Like it's been a while since I've popped in to listen to an episode.
Well, if you have listened to this episode, guys, you have heard Sports Talk with Martin. I've been trolling you guys for 2 episodes straight. Don't expect that to happen anytime soon again if you're listening to Bodega Nights. I don't know. It's like my new playground. If Jobber Talk is gone, obviously, you know what I'm going to do, right? Kinda? Sorta?
Gonna take Third World Gaming and just like
New playground.
Yeah.
Shit up. It's been nice. Third World Gaming has been nice. I'm glad that my friends are always game to take their Saturday nights off to guest. We had episode 100 last June or May. I think it was May.
Really?
Yeah. So episode 100, we had myself, Miko, Paolo, Bren, and Charles, former hosts, Migs as well, former hosts of Third World Gaming. Like all eras. It's like, that was kind of fun.
Oh yeah, that there we go. It has been a while since I've heard since I've listened to like the Third World Gaming. It's been a while since I've heard Paulo on a podcast.
Oh my God. Yeah, we need to fix this audio.
Oh well, yeah.
That's it. Sorry, Paolo. What else can I say?
Doesn't he have like a nice microphone though, Paulo?
Yeah, he tried the nice microphone, but the static just keeps happening. I don't know why. That's why I wish Miko was in the same recording. He could have helped out.
Yeah, because like he has a snowball, right? Which is
Yes.
pretty good microphone as far as microphones go.
I think it's because I don't know how he connected it to the mic in the PC or the static background noise happening around him that gets picked up. Because the snowball might, get all the noise, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All of it in here. I have a fear that's what's happening. But it's been nice. It's been a while. And then after this, since we're recording on 4th of July, happy 4th of July, happy freedom to you all, brother. Next week, which is Saturday morning there in the Philippines, our episode with Miko is going to be up, aka Ironic Gamer, because it's in line with our friend Miko's first anniversary as a Twitch streamer. So I'm kind of excited for that. It's going to be happening, I think, the late July, his anniversary stream, July 20-something.
So we should.
12 hours. We should drop by and say hi.
I should totally drop by. I've dropped by like a couple of times, but
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had a good internet because my Twitch keeps dying on me a few minutes after.
What? I thought you had like a better internet connection there than when you were back here.
Yeah, but Twitch demands higher internet, apparently. I mean, it's better in the sense that I can Zoom, I can watch you guys stream, I can play fast, download faster, but Twitch streaming has been a bitch. I don't know why.
I wonder why. It's like,
yeah.
Well, I don't know. What? How fast is your connection? If like you don't mind.
Well, on a good day, it can reach to. Let's see. You know what? That's a good question. Speed test. Let's do a speed test because this one's all good, but you notice sometimes depending on who I'm in the same household, like if my stuff is full and my stuff is full right now, like my floor is full, obviously they'll be using my internet as well. It's shared.
Ooh,
It's between 30 to 32, 31, 32 Mbps.
that should be good enough to Twitch to.
Download's good. But remember, it's on a PS4, and sometimes and depending on the game.
Oh, you're talking about you streaming out. I thought I thought it was when you watch streams, because that's perfectly serviceable.
Yeah, very serviceable. I can watch Nico and Norm stream very fine. But when you upload, it's just 13 Mbps.
Oh, that's a problem.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a terrible problem. How do you get your internet connection there? Like, what's your internet connection set up like?
It's free from the landlord, because I rent a place here, so it's part of the whatever.
Okay, so it's sort of baked into your rent that you get like 30 megabits shared throughout your floor?
Yes.
That's sad.
But it's good if it's just me. But sometimes it's not me. So
now I completely understand like why we have to record on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
That it's everybody sharing. What about your data connection? Like your on your cell phone?
Data's good, but I don't want to waste it on Zoom. I have work.
I mean, yeah, but how do cell phones there work? Like, do you have the same prepaid, postpaid thing?
Yes. I'm prepaid because I am not planning to stay here forever.
Oh yeah, obviously. But like there was a time.
It's freaking good.
Right?
I like the data.
There was a time when I had like a separate SIM card for when we were doing Third World Linux, and like my internet would screw up. I'd have like a backup. So I don't know. That's the thing.
Yeah, it is. Like I'm glad though, but yeah, that's why I can't stream properly. Like I need Miko's streaming powers for that. If I were to stream with him.
Although working from speaking of internet connections, working from home has done so much for me in terms of like understanding bottlenecks. There was a time when I was really pissed off at the ISP because we weren't getting the advertised internet connection speed, which is a pretty common complaint. But as it turns out, the reason that we weren't getting those full speeds was because back in the day, we cheaped out on the router, which has quite a bit of an impact on the internet connection speed. Like whenever I see people bitching, like I'm paying for 50 megabits per second, why am I only getting like 30 or 25? My bet is that like 99% of the time, the reason that that's happening is because they have a router that can't handle the throughput of 50 megabits or like 100 megabits, right? And it doesn't help. It doesn't help that the router that PLDT gave us, and this is what I'm pissed off at PLDT for, doesn't have a 5 gigahertz antenna, which means it's going to be much slower regardless of how much we pay for. So I had to get a new router to make sure that like everybody here gets the advertised speed.
I don't miss that, Joe. Dealing with PLDT, really don't.
I mean, yeah, but like that's the thing, right? Like, and it's a very human impulse. How the problem always has to be with somebody else. More often than not, the problem is with both people. Like PLDT's service sucks balls. I will admit that. But at the same time, it was also partly my problem because I didn't have the right infrastructure, for lack of a better term, in the house to sustain 150 megabit connection, right?
And
like
the router, right? The modem.
The router.
Oh God, I have very recent PTSD that happened here about the internet problem in my work. Imagine we have an event a day before, a day prior, and their internet effed up. So we had to call the internet provider because there was a blackout and the server was okay, but apparently it effed up the modem. The modem was very old. So apparently they had to replace it. So we did with the event. Thankfully, it didn't have to be like an online event. It was offline, so we just had to record it, pre-recorded.
Oh, that's
we were
good.
stressing out until the internet came back on. Like, oh, dude, you need a new modem. Here's the new modem. Thank you. That's it? Yeah, that's it. Bye-bye. We got the internet back. So I was so happy. We were stressing about it so long. Like Friday night, I was there until 9 p.m. because they weren't coming. Because they're also stupid here. Like, oh, we're going there after 5 hours. That was Friday. Okay. Are you guys coming here yet? No, we weren't given the go signal. You just said you'll be here in 5 hours last time. It's already 5 hours. What do you mean?
If there's something that I think is like universal to all countries in the world, it's that the service of like internet service providers are just terrible.
Yes, I agree.
Like I know that we have an international audience for Bodega Nights, and I'm pretty sure that all of the stuff that we complain about, at least internet-wise in the Philippines, all the stuff that we complain about internet-wise in Brazil, I'm pretty sure you have those exact same feelings about your ISP. Like there's a pretty large chance that you feel exactly the same way.
Amen.
You know?
Yes, I agree. It's not like a 33.3 chance of winning a sacrifice.
The only difference is the people in other parts of the world. Internet in the Philippines is really expensive, like really expensive.
Yeah, at least here, I have to be honest. The internet here is worth the internet cost because they actually deliver the speed, and it's worth the cost.
I mean, they deliver the speed here, but
it's a few pesos more expensive on certain speeds when I think about it, but you consider the cost of living in this country.
Yeah.
Then you compare it to America and you compare it to it there, it's more understandable. But there, 1 out of 10 times, it F's up. That's when it gets stressful, especially when you do work from home. And this is the point where I was going to say a sponsor, but you guys ain't sponsoring us like a Podmetrics thing, guys. So never mind. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just going to like look at the sort of normal prices here of a fiber connection to your house in the Philippines. 2,700 pesos to US dollars is about $56 for 100 megabits for 100 megabit connection. That's actually quite expensive, I think.
Yeah, it is a bit expensive, man.
If you want, you could pay 10,000 pesos for a gigabit connection.
Wait, 100 Mbps is not yet a gigabit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So have you been checking out at least the first few scrolls of your newsfeed on Facebook recently? Because I have been loving the new meme of Vin Diesel as Don Toretto.
I'm telling you, man, I barely open Facebook. Like, it's one of those. Yeah. It's one of those things. Like as a person that has a certain expectation of sanity, like I just can't. I just can't. I only open Facebook to do like two things: share episodes of the Cast Garden and share stuff that work tells me to share. You know, all of the pictures and whatnot that I post on Facebook are pretty much just cross-posted from Instagram, just so that there's the illusion of activity on Facebook. I don't know. I can't hear you because like you're muted.
Sorry. There you go. Oh yeah. Recently there's this slew of Vin Diesel memes about family. Like, we're outnumbered. Don't worry, guy from Star Wars appears with a ton of cars behind him. you got family with you now. Like, for something, for freedom or something. And then instead of the guy from Lord of the Rings, it's Vin Diesel for family. And then he drives into his car against the bad guys of Lord of the Rings. And now there's this new meme with he got his face on the Drake thing, like he does that, 7-Eleven. And then he does this, Family Mart, like he's pointing at the picture, Family Mart. Why? Because family. That's why. Family.
Have you seen Fast
9?
Fast 9.
I haven't seen any Fast and Furious movies until 7. So the last Fast movie I saw, Paul Walker was still alive. Rest in peace.
All right. I don't know. The last one I watched was like the second one or something.
Oh, the one with Ludacris.
Yeah.
The rapper. Okay. I haven't even watched that. I watched the first one. I didn't go to Tokyo Drift. I skipped to Fast 4 or Fast 5.
All right.
Because I think it was the movie before The Rock entered. And then when The Rock entered, we're like, oh, hell yeah, I'm watching this now. Oh, Dwayne Johnson.
It's really weird, though. It's really weird because, like, seeing the Fast and the Furious franchise, it's seeing the Filipino model of like cinema making its way to Hollywood. That used to be sort of just the purview of horror films, right? With like Friday the 13th, Part 13 or whatever. Like, you know, you have like so many of those. You have like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 23 or whatever. But like, you know, if people here are into Philippine cinema, you will know that any successful franchise is going to have more than 5 installments, right? Like, and it's going to be the name of the movie plus the numbers. So,
like,
you know,
Shake, Rattle, and Roll, right? Or Manopo.
Yeah, I mean, like Shake, Rattle, and Roll is okay because like our horror movies follow the tradition of, you know, having like a billion sequels. Right? But it's just like Manopo.
Scary too. Oh my God, Manopo. I miss Manopo. I like part 1. I didn't get to watch the rest because I heard it sucked. Sorry.
Right? Like that's like a family drama or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, this
Chinese Filipinos and stuff.
Right? That was really cool. You know, that was great. And it should have just ended it being like a great movie, you know? But instead, they had to milk it for all it was worth, which just frustrates me to no end, you know.
But think about it. What's your favorite Manopo? Have you watched 1, 2?
The first one.
No.
The first one, because that's the only one I watched.
Me too. Good job. Good.
Right? So
Same here, man.
I was like, this doesn't need a sequel. I don't know. That's the thing. It's funny to see that other types of film are following that model as well. But, you know.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's kind of weird, man. I really didn't get behind the Manopo thing. I watched it because I think it was fresh off the Decada Sedenta, Decada Sedenta, the same period of time.
Yeah, they were. That was a pretty good MMFF. Metro Manila. That was a pretty good MMFF, right? It had Decada Setenta and Manopo.
Yeah, that was like the only MMFF I think I watched because I watched it with my grandma.
Mm. And Decada Setenta is actually really good. I like the book.
It was very good.
It was good. I'm gonna be that hipster that says I preferred the book. You know, but you know, Decada Setenta was quite good. Yeah, I'm gonna be that dude. Lulati Bautista's Decada Setenta is just amazing. And if anybody can read can read Filipino, you should read that book.
Yes, sir. And I don't know much Filipino, so I can't say. Funny, right? We just got to that point earlier, by the way, Jao. We're not Filipino enough if we don't watch a whatever. And then
but here we are. I've read Luwalhati Bautista's Decada Setenta and absolutely enjoyed it.
Nice. Good for you. Yeah.
I'm gonna be that guy.
You're going to be that guy. Huh? Shout out to Norm.
Oh man,
That guy.
I can't. That guy's gonna get married.
Who?
Norm,
Oh my God, he is.
right?
He is? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
Like in a couple of months,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's true.
and like
So true.
I really want to fly to Manila to attend his wedding, but
I really
like
want-
I don't think I want the hassle of like travel now. You know, like it used
Yeah,
to
I
be.
True.
Right? It used to be the case where you just like you could book your flight and just go, but now you need to have all sorts of there's all sorts of red tape, you know, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It's all good. But for me, I really hope we can have it by Zoom so I can watch. Because obviously I can't make it. Depends on what time. I might still be asleep. But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, it's towards the end of the year, right? And my thought on it was like if towards the end of the year, I'm pretty sure that a good number of people are going to be like a good number of us Filipinos are going to be like vaccinated, and it shouldn't be too hard to it shouldn't be too much to get from one place to another, but you know, since our rollout is pretty slow, and you know, we have little outbreaks here and there, plus the Delta variant coming in, and all of these requirements for traveling within the country not going away. Like it feels really, really bad, and you know, like when you look at like the website of Philippine Airlines and Cebu Pacific, and you see that a round trip ticket from Cebu to Manila is the Cebu Manila round trip ticket is like 1,500 pesos, right? That's like next to nothing for, you know, round trip flight. It just kind of sucks.
Oh, that's weird, man. Yeah, it does suck. Oh, wow.
How much is the flight from the federal district to Rio Because like I as far as I've been reading, the vaccine rollout in the federal district has been fairly lackluster compared to your tourist centers.
Of course, because the tourist centers need it more than the federal district. But we still need it. I can't answer that, Zhao. But you know what I can answer? Do you? You don't?
No, I
I'll
don't.
tell you. I don't know how much a goat head costs.